chronicle of Delhi's descent into COVID hell. 4 straight days and hospital after hospital sounding an oxygen SOS. 4 straight days and the oxygen shortage continues. 4 straight days and citizens continue to die outside hospitals. 4 straight days of empty promises, political blame game and one-upmanship.
ये हमारी जो परंपरा है, हमारे जो प्रोटोकॉल है, उसके बहुत खिलाफ हो रहा है कि कोई मुख्यमंत्री ऐसी इन हाउस मीटिंग को लाइव टेलीकास्ट करे।
अगर सर मेरी तरफ से कोई गुस्ताखी हुई है, मैंने कुछ कठोर बोल दिया, मेरे आचरण में कोई गलती है, तो उसके लिए मैं माफ़ी चाहता हूँ।
4 straight days of being abandoned by both state and center, without a hospital bed, without even oxygen. The citizen of the capital left to fend for themselves. Abandoned by state and center, Delhi fends for itself.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. If you're a Delhiite and you're living in Delhi, I doubt it you'd be someone who doesn't know somebody who's sick, somebody who's struggling to breathe, find a bed in a hospital, trying to find some oxygen, or someone who's passed away. You'd be lucky, very, very lucky, if you don't know any of these 5. Well, the course of today saw multiple hospitals once again reach out asking the courts to intervene because they don't have oxygen. The citizens pretty much feel abandoned, left to fend for themselves. What is happening in Delhi? Why aren't we getting our oxygen supply is a question we continue to ask day in and day out for the last 4 days.
Three lives, 32,348. India posts a world record of highest COVID cases on Friday. Oxygen is running out. The systems have collapsed. The citizens are dying. And the capital city is in the eye of the COVID tsunami. While its people left abandoned, it was politics as usual.
ये हमारी जो परंपरा है, हमारे जो प्रोटोकॉल है, उसके बहुत खिलाफ हो रहा है कि कोई मुख्यमंत्री ऐसी इन हाउस मीटिंग को लाइव टेलीकास्ट करे। ये उचित नहीं है। ये हमने हमेशा संयम पालन करना चाहिए।
ठीक है सर, इसका ध्यान रखेंगे आगे से।
Prime Minister Modi interacting today with the chief ministers of 10 states on the COVID crisis interrupted Arvind Kejriwal to object to the discussion being live televised. The Delhi chief minister apologized, asking for more help. But help is not trickling down either by the state run by the chief minister or by the center run by the prime minister.
इसके सिवा मेरा कोई नहीं है। मैं बाइक चला कर रोता हुआ है इसके लिए, लेकिन कोई भी इससे सुन नहीं रहा। इससे कुछ अगर मेरा कौन देखेगा? बेटी सियानी है, एक छोटी है गोद की।
नो ऑक्सीजन, नो ऑक्सीजन, नो बेड।
17 तारीख को सुबह सदरी हॉस्पिटल यहाँ ट्रांसफर किया था। यहाँ हमने इमरजेंसी वार्ड में भर्ती कराया। भर्ती कराने का हमें पता नहीं लग रहा है। 12 में बताते, 11 बताते, हमें पता नहीं लग रहा बिल्कुल भी। हम तो आते हैं और यहाँ गेट तक धक्के खा के चले जाते हैं।
Delhi is still far short of its oxygen needs, is fighting for every breath. While the oxygen supply did increase on Thursday, but still 380 metric ton, far less than the current need of 700 metric tons. Batra Hospital and Drum Healthcare are the latest hospitals to move court on oxygen shortage. Then there was the curious case of Gangaram Hospital. The director of Gangaram Hospital issued a shocking statement on Friday morning at 8 a.m. 25 sickest patients have died in last 24 hours at the hospital. Oxygen will last another 2 hours. Ventilators and BiPAP not working effectively. Need oxygen to be airlifted urgently. Lives of another 60 sickest patients in peril. However, a clarification was issued in the next 3 hours. False reports that they died due to lack of oxygen. When O2 pressure lowered in ICU beds, gave patients O2 manually. Didn't let anyone die without oxygen. INOX told us after getting state government's NOC, they'll supply 9,000 to 10,000 cubic meters of oxygen daily. While Gangaram Hospital has got its oxygen supply for the day, there are many who haven't. The promise of renewed oxygen supply soon still remain, but just as a promise. And promises can't be inhaled, only oxygen can. Bureau Report, India Today.
The fact is, try telling somebody who's standing right now outside a hospital trying to get some oxygen for their loved ones that it's coming. It will be restored in a few days. I want to cut across right now for those who are the stakeholders. I want to go across to the Aam Aadmi Party. I want to go across to the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I have Nupur Sharma with me. I also have Atishi. But I want to go across first, with the permission of both the ladies, to Dr. K. Pritham. He is the Medical Superintendent, Indian Spinal Injury Center. It's now a COVID center, an all-out COVID center. Doctor, appreciate you joining me. I want to ask you, have you got your oxygen? Because I know you sent out an SOS just about 2 hours ago that you only had 2 hours left of oxygen in your hospital, which is a COVID center.
Yes, my hospital is almost a COVID center, and where we have about 150 COVID patients. And many are in a critical situation, and majority are in oxygen, who are dependent on oxygen, and of which about 50 patients are through liquid oxygen, and rest of the 100 are dependent on type D or jumbo cylinder gaseous oxygen. So my situation is that I am left with oxygen for another 1 to 2 hours, wherein I got about 18 cylinders. Somehow I'm able to manage that with 18 cylinders. And so I can extend it by another 2 hours to 3 hours. But after that, I am left with no oxygen, especially the gaseous oxygen. And after that, I do not know what to do. I have been running from pillar to post, requesting all the administrative aspects. Hello?
Dr. Pritham, will you last the night? Will you last the night if you do not have oxygen today?
No. If I don't have the cylinder, I need at least type D 60 cylinders, or we also call it a jumbo cylinders. We need at least 60 jumbo cylinders to pass through this night. Otherwise, most of the people will collapse or land up in critical areas wherein I don't have any beds for them to cater to in the critical area. And people will die off.
Sir, I apologize. I apologize that you say it with, you're a doctor and you have to say that people will die if this night I don't get oxygen. I want to, take what you said, sir, because you have two spokespersons, the stakeholders of the government, which is the Delhi government, and of the center. Which of you two ladies want to come and step in and say you'll provide oxygen this night? Will it be the Delhi government, or will it come by the center, where the Spinal Injury Center, which is a COVID center, mind you, is concerned? Which one would you want to come in first? Atishi, would you want to? Nupur, would you want to?
See, I think, Preeti, as far as both the Indian Spinal Injuries Hospital is concerned, as well as other hospitals, we are in touch with them. And all efforts are being made to make sure that oxygen reaches them. And I think that in this, the central government and the Delhi government are both in sync with each other. From today morning, the central government has escalated its efforts to ensure that oxygen supply reaches in place. Air Force planes have also been put into place, which have been bringing in oxygen from different parts of the country. And we are working together to ensure that all hospitals, specifically the Spinal Injury Center, I will also definitely make sure as soon as your program ends, to coordinate with our health department to ensure that the hospital will get its oxygen, be it through cylinders if they can't get their liquid oxygen supply. We have tried from our end that no hospital so far should actually fall short of the running oxygen supply that they need.
Atishi, would you stay on with me? Nupur, I want to come to you. We'll talk about the politics, but you have a Dr. Pritham here who says he can't last the night. He has hundreds of patients who will die if the oxygen doesn't reach. Atishi says that she will personally look into it, that this particular hospital, and there are many more, oxygen is reached. Do you take the same guarantee, Nupur, that you will make sure that his voice is heard and oxygen is supplied tonight itself?
Preeti, as you would already know, the Honorable Prime Minister has assured and also spoken to stakeholders, not only private but also on public sector, that all the capacities should be enhanced, because daily we see an increase in oxygen requirements and the supply should be at maximum. And through you, I would like to also thank private players who are coming ahead, who have ensured all industrial use oxygen is being converted to medicinal use, and the same is being applied and supplied. Secondly, you also are in the know of the fact that the MHA has guaranteed and issued orders that there should be no bottleneck and no roadblock at all in transportation of oxygen from one state to another, given the fact that the oxygen plants where this medicinal oxygen is being manufactured is not necessarily in the same state as where it's being supplied. For example, in the state of Delhi, in the UT of Delhi, oxygen is also being supplied from the state of Odisha and also Bengal. However, I want to clarify one thing, that the transportation vehicles, the cylindrical vehicles which are used to transport this medicinal oxygen is not under state or central control. This is where the state government step in, and this is where cooperative federalism is actually showing very good results as far as state, and I would take the name of Maharashtra, which is being run by opposition parties, and also the state of Madhya Pradesh. For example, in Maharashtra, where they realize that there will be some shortage, and because transportation vehicles are limited, they are privately owned, the government of Maharashtra wrote to the Railways Ministry and ensured and requested, and it was actually done yesterday, that there will be an oxygen express which would transport the requisite amount of oxygen from different states to the state of Maharashtra.
Okay.
Similarly, in the state of Madhya Pradesh, wherein there was a shortage in oxygen, the government of Madhya Pradesh, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, phoned CMs from neighboring states, including a state run by, say, the Congress party, for immediate transportation because the plants were not there. Thereafter, we also saw him write to the Indian Air Force so that cylinders could be airlifted, so that would cut down on transportation time. The logistical issue is simply in transportation side. It is not on supply side. Now, I'm sorry to say, I'm not somebody who's going to be here to do politics. At my level, I have been doing my maximum, and we know that everything is overstretched, and that's why a proper consonance between the center and the state governments is required. This is not the time for cheap politics or cheating, as I would like to say, wherein protocols are breached, wherein the Prime Minister's private meeting with the Chief Ministers, never have you seen, and they were all Chief Ministers from all states, which are also
I'm going to talk about it. We're going to come right back to that. I want to go, with your permission, I want to go back to Dr. Preetham. Dr. Preetham, words like corporate federalism mean nothing to you if you do not have oxygen supply by the evening today. I want to ask you, are you confident you'd be able to get it, and how are you managing right now? Because you have patients who are hooked onto ventilators, you have patients who need a high flow of oxygen who are COVID positive.
Yes. So as far as ventilated patients are concerned, they are on liquid oxygen that will last till tomorrow afternoon. So that I can manage till afternoon. The problem, as I said, the gaseous oxygen which has been supplied through the cylinders, that will last for not more than 2 hours. And our ambulance are being sent all over Delhi or outside Delhi, and our ambulance are still looking for oxygen and seeking help from others where we can fill our cylinders. And as you know that the ambulances can carry very limited number of cylinders. I need at least 60 type D cylinder, also called jumbo cylinders, in the next 2 to 3 hours of time. And even if my ambulance has gone out, for them to come back, it take another 4 to 5 hours, even if they get the oxygen, because they are outside the state. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to go about. Through this media, I'm requesting, it's my humble request. We are in a crisis situation. Even if you have 5, 6, 7 cylinders, please provide us. I've got about 18 cylinders supplied now. So somehow I'm able to put that to those people who have now got emptied of cylinders. I'm replacing it with them. But however, that 18 cylinders are not sufficient. I need at least 60 cylinders to pass through this night. Again, tomorrow, I might land up in trouble again. But the thing is, for the time being, 60 cylinders would sufficient for me to pass through this night. It's a humble request. Please, through this media, I'm requesting that whosoever is having the cylinders, please provide us the cylinders.
Dr. Preetham, we are going to try and amplify your voice as much as we can. We're going to try and amplify your voice as much as we can. You've given out a statement there. You're asking the public to contribute. We're going to amplify your voice. Appreciate you joining us, Doctor, and thank you for taking out this 5 minutes to join us and at least appeal to the public, because it seems both the state and the centre is not doing much. But I'll go back right now to Aatushi. Aatushi, you've said you've promised support. We're hoping you'll come good on that, where this particular hospital is concerned. Now going back to what happened, Aatushi, there's a charge which Nupur has made about cheap politics, trying to, leverage a meeting which was supposed to be private, putting it in public domain. What do you have to say about that?
Two things, Preeti. First of all, even while your show has been going on, I have been in touch with the health department and asked them to and told them about what Dr. Preetham has said and requested them urgently to get in touch with Dr. Preetham and the Spinal Injuries Hospital so that we can provide the 60 cylinders of oxygen that they need. That's number one. Number two, Preeti, let me also clarify, as the Chief Minister's office has done today, that there was never any specific instructions given to about the fact that the meeting regarding the COVID situation and oxygen situation in the states was a secret, because it is often that the Prime Minister's telecasts, Prime Minister's speeches in these meetings are also put out live. Chief Minister's statements, etc., are also shared with the media. However, be that as that may, since there was a lot of concern at the Prime Minister's end, the Chief Minister's office has officially sent out a clarification and an apology about the meeting and the fact that it was live telecast. But I think the question is not whether it was live telecast or it was not live telecast. The question, because a clarification has already been issued on that, I think the bigger question that we are all facing is that how is it that we are going to get oxygen across to Delhi? That is our first priority, being the government of Delhi, but I think to all parts of the country where oxygen is needed. I know the fact that people are struggling with oxygen supply across all states, and it's not a question of BJP ruled state, Congress ruled state, Aam Aadmi Party ruled state. I think that this pandemic, we have to realize, cuts across party lines and cuts across all natures of state governments. And I think that everyone really at this point of time needs to come together. And I'm very glad of the fact that from today morning especially, there has been a lot of centralized coordination that is being done by the central government, be it the use of the Air Force, be it ensuring that no oxygen cylinders and no cryogenic tankers are stopped by anyone in any part of the country. And we hope that this work continues at the war footing, because Delhi is still very, very short of oxygen. The quota of 480 metric tons is still not being fulfilled. We actually have a requirement for 700 metric tons at this moment. And we hope that the central government is able to ramp up both the production and the logistics to make sure that this is Delhi, because Delhi is in a very unique situation. Delhi, because of NGT orders, cannot actually have these that produce oxygen. So Delhi, therefore, is dependent on other states for this oxygen to come into its hospitals.
All right. Okay, I want to take it back to Nupur right now. Nupur, appreciate the patience. Like Aatushi said, that there was, there might be an unsaid protocol, but it wasn't ever put in letter that you cannot go public. She says the Chief Minister thought Delhi is going through a crisis. It's best that people of Delhi understand. But would you reckon now is the time to move on and coordinate together?
Well, I will actually, if the protocol of the Prime Minister was left to the thought of the Delhi Chief Minister, this is new to me. Trust me, this is new to me. Even conventions and traditions, for that matter, there's a difference between a Prime Minister's speech and whether it's public or not is completely for the PMO to decide, not for the Delhi government to decide, Aatushi. Please don't bring it to this level. And secondly, and most importantly, there were all chief ministers from all opposition states. In the past 1 year, we've not seen anybody do what you did today. And was it just to score your political brownie points? Because now I'll have a few facts for you. For example, since you did say that, the supply and everything is under the control of the central government. Last year, the PM Cares Fund, and this is submitted by the DPIIT Additional Secretary, Ms. Sumita Davra, from her bed of COVID infection. She herself is sick. She submitted on Tuesday before the Honorable Delhi High Court that 202 crores were allocated to different states under PM Cares Fund to come up with 162 plants, PSA plants, to procure and to manufacture oxygen at state level. For example, Uttar Pradesh has decided now to make 10 and has upped that requirement to 13 plants in a week, they will have 13 plants up and running which will manufacture by the government of Uttar Pradesh.
But Nupur, under the NGT Act, Delhi cannot produce. Under the NGT Act, Delhi cannot.
Preeti, this is under the Disaster Management Act, and before you say that everything is state central controlled, there is a Delhi Disaster Management Committee. Now the decisions to go on with the pandemic requirements are divided. They're decentralized ever since the first unlock procedure started. Now 8 plants were allotted to Delhi.
Okay.
Only 1 has been given clearance. I have an RTI in front of me, Preeti, and you would be to know, between the months of January, February and March 2021, 150 crores was spent on advertisements by the Delhi government. Between January and February, 10 letters were written by the union government, including to the state of Delhi, as to what is the preparedness. The Delhi Disaster Management Committee only wrote on April 22nd to the MHA to restart the ITBP facility. What were we waiting for? Kingdom Come?
Okay.
These are preemptive, anticipatory actions.
Okay, I need to, this can keep going back and forth. You've put what you had to say. Nupur, you have said what you had to say. Aatushi has said what she has to say. And, the fact is, ultimately, nothing is trickling down. Ask somebody who's standing outside a hospital, ask Dr. Preetham. One can keep saying, you didn't do it, you didn't do it. But for the citizens of Delhi, it does seem both the state and the centre had let them down. But having said that, I'll leave it both to your better judgment. Appreciate you joining us. A quick break. On the other side is Rahul Kamal. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.